I learned so much about Regnum Christi, and I was so really in love with the work. The more I'm around Regnum Christi and the more I have the grace to work with Regnum Christi members, it calls me higher. My name's Father Edward Hopkins. I grew up in central New York State, and I am been in Legion for some 40 years now. I had a great blessing that for 3 years of my priestly formation, during my internship, I was sent to Mexico, and I worked in Mexico with high school and then with college students, and I worked directly with Regnum Christi. In fact, 1 year was dedicated full-time working with young men, Regnum Christi Section, so high school and college age young men and young professionals. And the young men I work with inspired me, and I think that has been my experience all along. So in my priesthood now, on and off, I've worked more or less with Regnum Christi. Before I came down to Atlanta, I was in New York and worked 5 years with Regnum Christi. There in New York, it's just, the Regnum Christi people are so committed, and to see the charism in them and to see their dedication and their love for the Lord is just inspires my own priesthood. So I've always found that the more I'm around Regnum Christi and the more I have the grace to work with Regnum Christi members, it calls me higher and inspires me, especially when I see them doing spiritual exercises or doing apostolate or organizing things behind the scenes. And I would say the same thing for the consecrated men and women. I got to know the consecrated men in Mexico. I was able to work with them very directly in a lot of different situations, especially with the youth. And they're fantastic. And I came to appreciate their vocation as something very, very, very special. And the consecrated women, of course, are inspiring in their own way. And I always have told them that you are a great model, a great example to girls and young women of what it means to be feminine, what it means to be Catholic, what it means to be, in love with the Lord. So that it's beautiful to be part of that, you might say, that spiritual family. And I think we just need to thank God and keep growing and continue to appreciate His gift and all those who carry that gift in so many different ways. God obviously is up to something, and even here, we've been experiencing that family spirit again, where we're surrounded by some very holy people, some very committed, hardworking apostles. I'm blessed to be among them. I was ordained in 1991 by the Holy Father in Rome at our 50th anniversary, along with two of my brothers. So we got quite a start. I've been working all over the U.S. in different roles, but a lot of vocation work. And right now I've been helping with vocation work out of Atlanta. I work and visit universities, help with spiritual direction and retreat work. So that's my work right now. So my vocation all began when I least expected it. I was finishing my first full year of college. I was out on the West Coast, and I never thought of the priesthood, and yet, despite the fact that I was minding my own business, visiting a very lovely classmate of mine, we were sitting there outside the chapel talking when a priest walked by, and I did a double take, and somehow I was distracted enough to say to myself, I need to visit with that priest. And I didn't know why, but I knew that I needed to talk to him. So within 24 hours, I'd caught up to him. He was just visiting campus, and I spent more than 2 hours visiting with him. It was probably close to 3, and by the end of it, I shocked both of us, and I said, Father, I want to be a Legionary of Christ. And mind you, again, I'd never thought of the priesthood, so people kind of humored me for a while, and it took me 3 years actually to feel ready to enter. By that time, my two brothers had entered, and I finally stopped fighting the Lord, and it's been a beautiful ride ever since.